Mike Zollner, 31 years old, from Port Chester, New York. I work full-time as a computer engineer. Welcome to the Zeeman's Kitchen. Let's take a look around. You know, my cooking style is all about local seasonal ingredients, so we'll start off with some local honey here. This is Harry Liver's homemade. We got different types of artisanal salts and chocolates. I even got some local chocolate from New York here. I like cooking with all sorts of different spices. As you can see, I got a lot of spices over there. That's not good enough though. Of course, we gotta have a lot more spice. I like cooking with hot, spicy foods. I got a lot of different hot sauces there. We got some chili peppers here. These are local chilies also. They're local from Mexico, of course. Can't get those around here. And our wonderful black garlic. We're gonna be cooking our risotto with that in a little bit. And this is the last of our wonderful Muzak garlic, which we got at the Garlic Festival in New York this year. Moving on, quickly we'll take a look at just the different knives that we use for all sorts of different things, from deboning a chicken to crushing garlic, my pots, my pans. And that's my kitchen. I'm Mike Zollner, and let's get cooking. We're going to start by slicing up the mushrooms for the veal marsala. These are mushrooms that I got from the farmer's market right here in Westchester, New York today. We got creminis and just regular white button mushrooms. This is going to be the base of the sauce. And the reason I decided to go with veal instead of chicken, which is actually my signature dish, is that my great-grandparents had a restaurant called Zollner's, and one of their signature dishes was actually Wiener Schnitzel, which is a veal cutlet, breaded, and served with a little lemon juice. Unfortunately, the restaurant's no longer around. Nazis sort of took care of that, so once I become Master Chef, Zollner's restaurant will be reopened in New York. This is that wonderful black garlic. You know, one thing I see on TV a lot is chefs will use the blade part of their knife to clean off. I never understood that. I always want to use the back of the blade to clean off my board so I don't ruin the edge. And I love cooking, you know. I've been cooking my whole life. Every day I come home from work and all I want to do is get in the kitchen and cook. So every day I'm cooking. The day I did my dish for Master Chef, which was a beef stew, I had some leftovers that night. I made pizza from scratch that day just because I still wanted to cook. And sometimes I'll use a juicer, sometimes not. I have a nice wooden reamer. In this case, I think this will be more than enough juice. And the great thing about juicing lemons, you get to eat what's left. Finely slice the pancetta up. Alright, we'll put it over here. Get our mise en place finished. And look how beautiful that veal is, huh? That's gorgeous. My great-grandparents were alive to see this now. Okay, so I'm going to use a little bit of this garlic oil, garlic infused oil that I made. Get it in the pan here. It may splatter a little bit. We definitely want some in this pot too, so we'll get our veal marsala going here. We're going to get our black garlic risotto going. Base for the risotto, just put it in there. Low temperature, you want to sweat that. Definitely don't want it to burn, or almost not even get brown actually. And in the back here we're going to have one of my favorite cooking vessels, cast iron. I wish I could use this for everything. Cast iron, it's great. And now the magic happens. We're going to fit all of these mushrooms into that little pan. Don't ask me how. And carefully. Okay. And by the time we're ready for it, it'll be reduced by more than half. And one kitchen tool I can't live without. A lot of people always ask, what are some of your favorite kitchen tools? Tongs are definitely one of mine. Definitely tongs. Some of my earliest memories of cooking, I started cooking when I was a young kid, back at my parents' house with my grandmother. During all the holiday events, I was always the one to make the matzo ball soup. And everyone loved my matzo ball soup. And as I grew older, I made it a little more complex, made my own chicken stock, added a little bit more flavorings to the matzo ball soup. And I just remember being young, making that matzo ball soup, everyone loving it. To this day, it's still one of my signature recipes. And of course, we have our whole mise en place here, so I have everything all ready to go. I cook with wine quite often when I'm cooking. Sometimes I even put it in the pan. Now I'm going to add the black garlic to the pan. Just stir it up a little bit. Looks like it's sweating nicely. No browning on there, which is exactly what I want. Add our locally grown mushrooms. You don't even need to add any oil. It's got enough water in it itself. And then in a few minutes, it'll be reduced down. Add our rice. Let that become parched. When I was learning about the risotto method, and that risotto is actually not a rice, it's a method, and rice is just part of it. He taught me about parching the rice and how you want to become translucent. When a human's parched, it wants water. When the rice becomes parched, it wants water as well. I have taken some cooking classes in the city at the French Culinary Institute. I was lucky enough to take a class with Jacques Pepin. I've taken some at the Culinary Institute of America, at the International Culinary Institute. Yep, and that's that. Soon I'll be cooking with Mr. Ramsay. I'll get out one of my secrets here, a little porcini powder. I love using this in anything from marsala. I put it in sauces. I've even put it in a few breads. It's a great little umami action. A savory flavor. So now that our rice is parched, what's that? You thirsty? We're going to add our wine. Let that reduce down. Looks like the mushrooms are about ready. So yeah, this is going to add some amazing smell. Garlic, tomato paste, and of course a pancetta. Tomato paste, that's another one of my little tricks. I like using that as a base in a lot of sauces. It really gives it a nice flavor. Now some people will tell you when you add alcohol, wine to a pot, you want to do it off the flame because you don't want it to flame up. I like when it flames up. I like the fact that it evaporates the alcohol and it looks really cool. So I think today we're going to do it on the flame. You can smell the garlic starting to cook in there. Can you smell that? We're cooking with gas. I was watching some TV show recently, and of course it was about cooking because that's the only TV shows I watch. And there was a saying apparently when gas ranges first came out. They used to say, "Now we're cooking with gas." We're cooking with gas here today. Turn the flame up. Make sure there's nothing flammable around. And get ready to make our mushroom marsala sauce. So here we go. Oop, a little flame. I like the flavor this adds. Now, if Chef Ramsay tells me differently, we will do it off the flame. Back to the mushrooms though, you know, I always hear these TV chefs, some people say, don't wash your mushrooms. Rinse your mushrooms, don't soak your mushrooms. All these different things. But scientifically, and the truth really is, no matter whether you rinse them or soak them, rinse them underwater, they always will gain about the same amount of liquid. The trick is, if you rinse them or soak them, right afterwards you have to cook them. Otherwise they get slimy and nasty. As long as you follow that method, you're good. Just give it a little taste. That's good. I think it needs some salt though. And another school of thought I think I'm different on, I don't have a salt container. I always use it in here. I don't have a pinch. I just put a little bit on, try it. If it's no good, I'll add a little more. And of course, we've got to taste this too. That's good. Tasting is so important. You got to make sure your food's properly seasoned. Alright, that should be about enough. We can see the bottom of that pan. That means we're going to add a little bit more liquid. Maybe lower the heat, this might be done. Was it to the tooth? Al dente? Almost. Now we will add. So we started barely able to fit in there, and look how much we got left now. Parmigiano Reggiano. And then we want to finish it off with some very good quality extra virgin olive oil. I'm not supposed to show the label. Some very good quality extra virgin olive oil. Bam! Bam! I've always wanted to do that. Okay, so now let's plate. So we take our risotto. And look at that black garlic chunks. Veal. A little bit of this delicious marsala sauce. And just of course on the side, some freshly baked flatbread. And there you have it. My signature dish, veal marsala with a side of black garlic risotto and fresh flatbread.